Welcome to Focal Point News, your source for campus news, breaking headlines, and in-depth stories that matter. Coming up on Focal Point.
Find out where you can see items investigated for paranormal activity. Coming up.
Take a look at how the MSU Women's Rugby Football Club is running through gender barriers and stereotypes.
This is Munn Field, and in about 24 hours, it'll be filled with campsites, tents, and students ready to start the new basketball year.
From the heart of Michigan State University, Focal Point starts right now.
Good morning and welcome to Focal Point News. I'm Jack David.
And I'm Laura Butlovics. Today is October 10th, 2025, and it's homecoming weekend.
Yes, indeed, Laura, and it all kicks off with a homecoming parade. Campus is expected to be crowded with Spartan fans and alumni for this annual event tonight.
And this means the road will be closed to traffic.
We now take you to Grand River Avenue, where Focal Point City Chabe stands with more information on festivities and the plans to keep the public safe. City?
It's a crisp autumn morning here in East Lansing, and I'm standing on Grand River Avenue, just hours away from the homecoming parade. The parade will start at Hannah Community Center on Abbott, make its way down Grand River Avenue, and then finally end on Farm Lane. And these roads are going to be closed at 2:30 p.m. today. Now, while homecoming can bring feelings of excitement, it can also bring the question of safety. Earlier this week, I had the chance to speak with some folks about student safety on campus after sunset. Take a look. As the sun sets on Michigan State's campus, getting home isn't just about the travel. For a student, it can mean wondering just how safe that journey really is.
It's a little nerve-wracking just because obviously it's late, it's dark, it's much harder to see people around you.
But MSU police say that they're working to close that gap by providing resources.
In terms of safety resources, we offer the Safe MSU app that we really promote. That app has a ton of safety resources, and that includes the Cat and Night Owl service that runs on campus, and it also has a direct link to our ASMSU Safe Ride program.
If you're walking home alone at night, the Safe MSU app has a virtual friend walk feature that allows someone to track your location in real time so you can get home safe.
I actually really like the app for the most part so far.
But with the campus this large, help can take time.
So when you do call a Safe Ride, it can take as little as 5 minutes, and other times it can take up to a half hour. And so depending on where you are, it still is a little nerve-wracking to just be sitting alone on a dark sidewalk at 2 a.m. waiting for someone to come.
And the police want students to know that they're not alone.
We just want our community to know that they can reach out anytime, and we will treat them with dignity, respect, and take care of any situation that we're able to work through together.
In East Lansing, I'm Siddhi Chaube, Focal Point News. The Safe MSU app can be downloaded by anyone, not just students, and the homecoming parade will start at 6 p.m. and go on for about an hour until 7. Stay safe, Spartans. Jack, Laura, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, City. It's great to see that there are tools out there to help Spartans stay safe. It's important to be aware of changes in the environment, especially during big events like this parade tonight.
That's right. There are a lot of changes going on in both the environment and also our bookcases. We have a few long-standing bookstores in our mid-Michigan community. Focusing in on the East Lansing area, Focal Point's Braden Willis paid a visit to the downtown area to explore how people are fighting book censorship. Take a look.
Tucked away in downtown East Lansing.
So we have a lot going on at the gallery.
Most days it could be easy to miss.
We have the opening reception for the Local Sources exhibition.
But today, it's standing out.
Printmakers, zine makers, artists.
Not just the big blue van.
Coming together at Scene Metro Space for this quick sort of pop-up exhibition.
But the Scene Metro Space and the people in it.
And then we also have the Read for Your Rights East Lansing banned book event.
People gathered for Banned Book Week here in the Scene Metro Space behind me, not only to appreciate the art, but also to read aloud their favorite passages from books that are banned across the United States.
Loren Gehrig and Chrissy Evaskis Garrett, along with some local Lansing celebrities, are among the people gathered here tonight, combining art.
From the artist side of things, one, with this exhibition, we have a range of works. So we have zines that are created with accessible materials, printers, just quick printer paper, copy paper.
And banned literature.
So the two passages I read were The Giver by Lois Lowry and Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. When we talk about banned books, what we're talking about is stopping people from being able to find information and things for themselves.
To advocate for a future where no voice is silenced.
When we talk about censorship, what we're doing is we're denying people themselves. I think everybody deserves to find themselves reflected in the books that they read and the materials they find in the movies and the albums, in the pages of anything.
In East Lansing, I'm Braden Willis, Focal Point News.
Tomorrow actually marks the last day of Banned Book Week, and if you're interested in learning more about the fight against censorship in literature, you can visit the movement's website at bannedbooksweek.org.
Now moving into Genesee County, nurses and doctors at the Henry Ford Jenison Hospital have been on strikes since last month while they demand safer working conditions for both nurses and patients. And they're still fighting today. Focal Point's Griffin Makrovich spoke to one of these union members to find out more.
Safer staffing, safer patients. That's what local union 332 is asking for.
We are striking for not just for ourselves, but for our patients that live within this community of Grand Blanc and Genesee County and northern Oakland County. We are striking for safe staffing, for safe ratios, regulated number of patients that a nurse has.
On September 1st, union members began their strike with tents and signs at the front of Henry Ford Genesis Hospital. And here they are a month later, protesting after nurses were assigned almost double the legal limit of patients. Often, they say, without enough support.
Now, I spoke with nurses and staff members after the strike, and they told me that traditionally hospitals are staffed with 6 patients for every 1 nurse. But Henry Ford nurses are on strike because at the height of these problems, they were seeing as many as 10 patients for every 1 nurse. This not only adds a lot of stress to the nurse's work life, but makes it dangerous for the patients as they can't be tended to equally.
But these conditions are nothing new, Jordan tells me.
I mean, even since COVID, even with the previous, owners, they just never listened to us nurses. They always told us what we were going to do, even if it was unsafe. So over the past 5 years, it just has gotten worse and worse and worse. And eventually water has finally boiled, and that's why we are out here. We've had enough.
Local Union 332 has requested to meet on numerous occasions with Henry Ford executives to discuss better working conditions. So far, no progress has been made.
And they haven't done anything. They haven't been there. They haven't even looked at any of our articles to ratify. They're just trying to squeeze this out as long as possible and for us to fold. But we are Teamsters, we are stronger, and one day longer. As long as it takes.
As long as it takes.
For Focal Point News, I'm Griffin Makrovich, reporting.
There's no telling how much longer this fight will last, but with the continued privatization of the medical industry, we'll sure to keep you updated as these policies change.
Looking into more medical news, this past weekend, the first annual Miles for Medicine 5K race took place right here on campus. Focal Point's Jackie Graham dove in to discover the deeper meaning.
Countdown in 3, 2, 1.
The School of Human Medicine at Michigan State University is making a difference one step at a time.
Miles for Medicine is just a fundraiser that we put together. Really, we wanted to have a way for medical students to impact the community that they actually are in.
This initiative is especially important right now because it's an opportunity for everyone to still support each other, bring funds together.
The impact of this fundraiser goes way beyond Michigan State's campus.
Carefree Medical Clinic, which is in Lansing, Michigan, And Carefree is committed to providing health care to those who don't have insurance, to those who may not have enough insurance coverage.
I actually volunteer at Carefree as well through CHM Serve, and we get medications for people who can't afford them. We apply through these patient assistance programs through the pharmaceutical companies. All this funding is really going to help a lot of people in need, people who otherwise wouldn't be able to receive health care.
And that it does. The School of Human Medicine puts helping others first.
Not only improving their own fitness, but they're improving our ability as a community to care for the people that live here.
This college is dedicated to helping the community.
It's about coming out, having fun with family, but also getting a sense of what Carefree Medical Clinic is doing for our community and being able to support them in that work. People see this as that, and hopefully next year they can come out as well to support that same cause.
Every person, dollar, and mile counts and means health care for someone else. In East Lansing, this is Jackie Graham, Focal Point News.
The School of Human Medicine raised $3,200 for Carefree Medical in this year's race. But they say there's no stopping there. If you want to donate to their cause, you can go to give.msu.edu or you can email msuchm@snma.org.
Now we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We'll have more news for you when you come back.
Up next, see how the community comes together to celebrate the history of Meridian Township.
And since it's October, learn about the spooky tours of paranormal activity that are perfect for Halloween. All that and more right after the break.
The Big Ten so big? For starters, it's 18 of the country's most iconic universities. It's Defend the Rock, Jump Around, and the biggest bass drum on earth big. It's a stadium so big.
They had to name it the Big House.
Go Blue. It's dotting the I big.
Let's go Bucks.
It's all-time leading scorer big. And now that USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington have joined the party, it's feeling real big. Right, Matt?
I'm ready. Fight on. Boys up. Baby.
Let's get it. Go Dogs.
Nah, it's all about the O.
The Big Ten Network. This is big.
Boy, that was a commercial break for the history books.
Well, I don't know if I would say that about the Big Ten football, but history did come to life in Meridian Township this weekend. The annual Heritage Festival opened the doors of the historical village and offered visitors a hands-on look at life in the late 1800s. Focal Point's Gabriel Klein shows us how the past and present met on the green.
This is Meridian Township's historical village, where the past meets the present.
This is our annual Heritage Festival, where we look back at our local history. We have 8 historic structures, many of them from the Meridian Township community. When we open the doors, we bring people through. We have demonstrators here, blacksmiths, quilt makers, boat makers. We have the Model A Club here today for some old vehicles to look at. And of course the children's games. So a lot going on.
Behind me is one of the most iconic buildings in the historic village.
A lot of products, some of which you might recognize that are still around today, some of which have changed their logos a bit, some of which aren't around, but it's a fun sort of I Spy activity game you can play in there with the wall of things that have changed and things that haven't. We also have a gift shop in there, so we sell historic products, toys mostly.
Not too long ago, the buildings that make up this village were in danger of being torn down.
These buildings were saved in the 70s. There was the bicentennial, which generated a lot of interest, and they otherwise would have been knocked down. The school group's always really excited. I told them they put those buildings on big trucks. I got to see one of them moving down the street when I was 8. It was a very exciting day. But these buildings are, really, really a treasure. Our tollgate house is, as far as we know, the only one in the state still standing from the Plank Road era. These are just really unique historical buildings in a part of the state that's really not great at saving old buildings. Things are getting knocked down all the time. And so soon we've got the semi-sesquicentennial, I hope I said that right, which is the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And so that's going to be exciting too as we get more people seeing what we've preserved and getting excited about preserving them into the future.
Reporting in Meridian Township, Gabriel Klein, Focal Point News.
If you missed this year's festival, the Historical Village stays active with seasonal events and tours, keeping history alive in a year-round community tradition.
Speaking of seasons, Halloween is just a few weeks away, and folks are starting to celebrate all things eerie. But for one local couple, tours of a paranormal activity aren't limited to spooky season. Focal Point's Amy Cho visited this couple and shares their story.
John Harris has always had peculiar interests. What would normally drive people away actually drew him in.
I've always been interested in dark, scary things, just growing up as a kid, even into adulthood.
John's wife, Jennifer, also had similar interests since childhood.
It's kind of fun to have those things that people think are weird.
Through Voodoo's World of Oddteaks and the Other Side Paranormal and Mortuary Science Museum, the Harrises invite guests to step outside of their comfort zones.
I want people to learn and experience a different type of thing and not so conservative.
Despite providing plenty of horror-themed entertainment, the Harrises also aim to share facts and stories of the other side.
I'm a storyteller, so I'm telling you the stories, the backstories, the history, the education of the items that are in there.
Inside, this museum has mortuary science objects and items that have been investigated for paranormal activity on display.
Hopefully the ghosts aren't messing with me.
However, as skeptics themselves, the Harrises limit the stories behind the items to just facts.
We're not in there to, tell people things that aren't true.
Whether guests come as believers or skeptics, Jennifer hopes for one thing when they leave.
My goal is, one, knowledge. They're learning. It's a guided tour.
In Lansing, Amy Cho, Focal Point News.
Located in Rio Town Marketplace in Lansing, the Harrises say they want to introduce more people to their haunting interests.
With Halloween coming up, I'm wondering what kind of weather we'll have this year.
Jack, I've lived through hot and cold Halloweens, even some with snow.
Me too. Our fall temps beginning to show up on our forecast. Focal Point's Meg Vandermark is at the weather wall this week to tell us. Hey, Meg.
It's going to be prime cider mill weather this week with cool mornings, sunshine in the afternoons, and just enough chill in the air to finally feel like October. Let's get started right here in East Lansing. Today we're looking at a high around 65, dipping down to a cool 42 degrees tonight. So if you're headed out, you'll definitely want that flannel. Saturday cools down a bit to 61, but will warm right back up Sunday to 68 with sunshine all day. That'll be a great one to get outside, maybe show off those fall colors while the leaves are still on the trees. Then we'll roll into next week some steady weather. Monday and Tuesday will reach the upper 60s and lower 70s. The mid 60s will return on Wednesday and Thursday, so overall mild, bright, and really pleasant for October in Michigan. Now taking it to the greater Midwest region, we have a mix of fall temperatures. Down south, St. Louis hits 75, Indianapolis comes in around 60, and Chicago stays cooler at 66. Head up north and it's even chillier. Grand Rapids is at 64, and Marquette up in the UP barely makes 59 today. While farther west, it's holding up a little warmer. Minneapolis 68, Des Moines 76, and Wichita even hitting 83. So whether you are, wherever you are, it's either short sleeve weather or sweatshirt weather. The Midwest can't quite decide at this point. Now looking across the country, there's a big contrast from coast to coast. It still feels like summer in Phoenix at 90, Los Angeles 83, and Sacramento 74. Up in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle is cool, which is basically textbook weather for Seattle in October. In the middle of the country, it's comfortable with Denver and Rapid City both around 70, Kansas City right at 81, and Dallas at warm 86. Then back east, we've got that crisp fall air, Detroit at 67, and Chicago at 66. Buffalo and New York City mid-60s, Atlanta 74, and Miami still holding on to those low 80s. So from coast to coast, the U.S. is evenly split between a lingering summer heat and that cozy fall vibe we're getting right here in Michigan. So here at home, make the most of it. It's perfect weather for cider mills, pumpkin patches, or just soaking up that Michigan fall fun. That's all for your Focal Point forecast. I'm Meg Vandermark. Stay warm, stay cozy, and have a great homecoming weekend, Spartans.
Thanks, Meg. Sounds like the perfect excuse to grab some cider and donuts this weekend.
I'll definitely be grabbing that flannel. Sounds chilly out there.
Speaking of upcoming cooler weather, those colder weather comfort foods start making their way back to the dinner table. Last weekend, chili was on the menu at Jackson Field. On Saturday, the Lansing Lugnuts hosted a chili cook-off that mixed food, music, and community spirit, all for a good cause. Focal Point's Brooklyn Blurchel went out to show us the event that is bringing flavor to downtown East Lansing.
Instead of cheering for baseball, fans cheered for chili on Saturday as vendors and food lovers packed Jackson Field for a taste of Lansing's best.
When I started this job, I asked around on community pages, what do people want to see back in Lansing? And chili cook-off was one of the #1 requests.
From classic recipes to bold new flavors, the chili cook-off gave locals a reason to head downtown and enjoy something different in the heart of Lansing.
I hope it just brings excitement back around just events at the stadium. I think that since COVID, a lot of things like the chili cook-off just have not been back. So my goal is to start bringing things like that back a little bit at a time every single year, and just so people are excited to be downtown again.
It's not just about tasting chili, it's about supporting a cause. Local vendors and families are coming together at Jackson Field to enjoy food, fun, and raise awareness for the Mark Advocacy Group.
So this is a fundraising event for us so that we could put on the different things and supply resources and seminars for the people who need such help in advocating for themselves and the ones they love.
For Marcy, that mission is personal. She started the group in honor of her brother Mark, and she continues to fight her own battle with stage 4 kidney disease.
I'm walking the walk, so I actually walk the walk and talk the talk. I can help people through the journey I've gone through.
Good food, good company, and a good cause, all in one night at Jackson Field. In East Lansing, I'm Brooklyn Burschel, Focal Point News.
A night of chili, community, and giving back, all proving that Lansing's got heart. For more information on how to support the Mark Advocacy Group, you can visit markadvocacygroup.org.
Now we have to take another quick break.
Still to come, sports galore, from the court to the field. Hear it all from Focal Point News.
This and more sports news when we come back.
It's not just a helmet, it's a crown of champions. Past, present, and future. An indestructible symbol of pride. Forged over more than a century of grit, sacrifice, and strength. Proudly resting on the shoulders of Trojans, Spartans, Knights, and other warriors. Steeped in history, but focused on the future. Inspiring the belief that this year could be the year. Weathering any storm. Hitting like thunder, moving like lightning. Proudly boasting battle scars and badges of achievement. Colors changing like the seasons, unifying in purpose. Unstoppable force meets immovable object. Rising high to victory, enduring chasms of defeat. And if the gridiron planets align, reaching the summit and being crowned legends forever. So come on, strap in, ball out, and fan up, because this is big.
Where Spartan pride is always on full display. It's been a busy week for Green and White, including our club sports.
That's right. It's fast, it's physical, and it's fierce. But for Michigan State's Rugby Football Club, the sport is also about community and empowerment. Focal Point's Michaela Mazza shows us how these Spartans are breaking gender norms and redefining what strength looks like.
During autumn, you often hear the crunch of fall leaves. But at the Vet Med Field on Mondays and Wednesdays, you can hear another kind of crunch, the sound of tackles by the MSU Rugby Football Club.
But I'm a little bit too competitive for IM sports. I get a little bit too into it. So rugby, I found the rugby club and I wanted to try it out.
And while rugby has long been seen as a men's game, these Spartans are proving that strength has no gender.
These girls definitely, if you got out on the pitch, you'd know and realize very quickly that they are just as tough, if not tougher, and grittier than a lot of those guys.
The team members I spoke with today all mentioned how much of a family this team is and how they are trying to get closer with each other every day.
Team culture is the biggest thing that I wanted to come in. I want a strong base of camaraderie and support from everyone. And I think that once we get that, we can do anything we want.
Head coach Meg Kearns, a rugby club alumna, says the team's success starts with connection on and off the pitch.
They're fighters. They represent MSU and the Spartan name, and I couldn't ask for a better team.
From first-timers to veterans, the Spartans are building strength in their game and in one another. In East Lansing, I'm Michaela Mazza, Focal Point News.
For more information on the team or to have a look at their schedule, check out MSU Rugby FC on Instagram or on their website.
But that's not all we have for you from the field. The Spartans really were back in action this week.
We have Focal Point's Michaela Mazza in the newsroom now to break down more MSU athletics. Michaela?
Thanks, Jack and Laura. It's that time of the year again. The leaves are falling, the air is crisp, and fall sports are aplenty, so let's get into the action. But first, we're going to start off with two winter sports that are getting set to tip off soon, the men's and women's basketball teams. The IZone campout took place last Friday at Munn Field, and Focal Point's Jack David shows us an inside look.
At Michigan State University, basketball is a huge part of the culture. Every single year, IZone members and countless other students come together in something called the IZone campout.
The campout is one of the best parts of being a Spartan.
The campout kicked off at 5 p.m., but many campers set up early for the long night ahead.
Yeah, so we got here at 3 to set up. Usually it takes a bit to, get everything set, but we got here a little bit early and get a kickstart on things.
The biggest event of the entire night is Michigan State Madness, which
happens here at the Breslin Center. IZone members, other students, and the rest of the public will pack this building in just a few hours to catch a glimpse of the new men's and women's basketball team.
The whole night, with all the celebrating and partying that you can possibly handle, kicks off the basketball year to come.
I really think of the IZone campout as a nice kickoff to a new basketball year.
I'm really excited for this upcoming season. I think we're going to be really good and be good on both sides of the ball.
Coming off of last year, expectations are high. The men's team made it to the Elite Eight, and the women's team made it to the round of 32.
We lost some players, so I'm not sure we'll be as good as last year, but I think we have a really good chance still. We added a lot of good players from the portal in our recruiting class and retained a lot of good veterans from the previous season.
What really makes me confident is the coaches. Freilich was awesome in her first year, and Izzo, Hall of Famer.
If this year's campout turnout is any indication, it's going to be a crazy year for basketball here in East Lansing. From Focal Point News, Jack David reporting.
Exhibition teams for both the men's and women's teams start next week but may change. The men's team will take on the Bowling Green Falcons on October 23rd, and the women's team will take on the Michigan Tech Huskies on October 22nd. Spartan football traveled to Nebraska last weekend for another Big Ten matchup. Nebraska's senior running back, Emmett Johnson, got them on the board early here with a little trickery, juking out the defense. Then the Cornhusker defense blocked a Spartan punt and ran it into the end zone, making it 14-0 Cornhuskers. But the Spartans wouldn't be silenced just yet. Here's Aiden Childs darting away from the defense in a full sprint to run it back for a touchdown that tied the game up. It was Aiden Childs once more later on, running it in to make it 21-14 MSU. But the Spartans would have to wait for their first Big Ten win because Nebraska would go on to score 24 more points in the second half, which was highlighted by this pass to Neziah Hunter, who ran it in 59 yards to seal the deal for the Cornhuskers, who would go on to win the game 38-27. The Spartans are now 3-2 on the season and 0-2 in the Big Ten Conference. They play UCLA tomorrow in the homecoming game as they hope to snag their first conference win of the season. After taking care of Northwestern last Friday, our women's volleyball team stayed in Illinois to take on the Fighting Illini. Outside hitter Carolina Staniszewska posted 17 kills, while setter Malaya Long got another double-double with 47 assists and 47 digs. MSU forced the match to go to 5 sets, but ultimately couldn't come up with a win as they got handed their second Big Ten loss of the season. Next up, the Spartans host the Iowa Hawkeyes tonight at the Breslin Center at 7:30. Number 16 women's soccer was ready to receive the number 21 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes for a top 25 matchup on Sunday, and the start to this match was physical, but OSU drew first blood with a header past MSU goalkeeper Noelle Henning. It was Bella Najera who would tie it up with a strike. That was the first goal allowed by Ohio State all season, and the game would go on to stay 1-1 after neither team could break through one last time. With the draw, the Spartans moved to 6-2-5 on the season, but 3-0-3 in the conference, remaining unbeaten. MSU men's ice hockey laced up their skates last night in its season opener against New Hampshire. Anthony Romani got the Spartans started with a power play goal in the first period, but the Wildcats tied it up just later and scored another one in the second period to leave the Spartans trailing. The two teams would eventually end up tied 3-3 with 8 seconds remaining, but UNH got a shot opportunity that the Spartans initially deflected, but they couldn't make the second save and gave UNH the game winner with only about 5 seconds on the clock and a final score of 4-3. Nightingale's squad will have the chance to redeem themselves from their heartbreaking loss tonight against UNH at Munn Ice Arena at 7:30 p.m. And that wraps up this week's sports recap. Laura and Jack, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Michaela.
You know, Laura, I'm in quite the pickle.
Oh?
With all these sports stories, I really want to get out there, but I just can't decide.
Well, we may have something that's right in your court. Pickleball has been described as one of the nation's fastest growing and most welcoming sports. That's why Focal Point's Ryan Morris visited a local pickleball court right here in East Lansing to see how true that is.
In 2023, Patriarch Park renovated their sports facilities, and seeing the need, the city added several pickleball courts, resulting in a lively, growing community for America's fastest growing sport, with people of all ages bonding over their zest for the game.
We really saw what the most popular use was and decided that increasing the number of pickleball courts was appropriate for that park.
After renovations that totaled near $1 million, they saw an immediate growth in foot traffic.
Once we opened up those courts, in the course of 1 year, we saw 35,000 more visits to the park, right?
I'm here at Patriarch Park to learn more about the community building aspects of pickleball, as well as people's love for the game. Paddle in hand, I step on the court. What I found was a tight-knit community, with people keeping track of who's on the board to play next, giving tips on how to be better, people connecting over things beyond the sport. A sport anyone can pick up and get better at.
It was just a super easy sport for me and my friends to pick up and start playing, and then I got bit by the pickle bug and just kept playing. And there's just every little bit you play, there's like a new strategy that you see that you could just improve your game by a little bit. And just week after week, you start to see yourself get better and better, and you'd be like, wow, you know, this is really something that I can like get good at.
Serving up news in the community in East Lansing, I'm Ryan Morris, Focal Point News.
If you want to check out the courts at Patriarchy Park, they're right off Bircham and Alton Roads. And get there quick because the courts fill up fast. And it's not getting any warmer out there.
And on that note, we say goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in this week to Focal Point News. I'm Laura Butlovics.
And I'm Jack David. We'll see you next week for some Spartan sports and more stories that matter to you.
Happy homecoming and have a great weekend, Spartans.